Your Girl.
That's right, it's a podcast.
It's Pod For Yah Girl.
We got to go live.
Pod For Yah Girl. It's Pod For Yah Girl. Welcome back to Pod For Yah Girl. How have y'all been doing? I hope y'all have been doing amazing. I hope your week has been treating you well. I hope your weekend was amazing. Listen, I am just coming off of winter break here in Atlanta. The kids were out of school. My son, he's 8. He was home with us the whole week, you guys, the whole week. Yes, y'all. And so it was cool though. I'm not gonna lie, like I do slick be missing him when he be at school because he's 8 now and he's just like a little guy. He's like my little homie. And so when he's away at school, I do be missing him. So he wasn't too much trouble. Now, the 2-year-old and him combined, when they get together, that's when they get to be a little bit of a handful. So y'all can only imagine just having them both in the house. But it was real chillax. We played board games together. We ate. We went out to eat to different restaurants and stuff. We took him out. Just really enjoyed the city of Atlanta because sometimes, you know, you feel like you always got to travel. You always got to go out of town, take the kids out of town. He originally wanted to go to Texas. Don't ask me why. He wanted to go to Texas and see like a rodeo. And so we had to tell him like, hey, it's not going to happen this time. And just coming off of our last episode, that mom era, that mom guilt be real. Like when y'all can't do something or when your child wants to do something and you're like, well, mommy still has to go to work or daddy still got things to do. And, sometimes that guilt be real. But we made it work, you guys. We had an amazing winter break with them. And we told him like spring break is right around the corner in April. So that's when we're going to do our thing. All right. So for those of y'all who did not get a chance, go stream it right now. The That Mom Era episode. It is the last episode. And it's just about just being that mom and just being in your era of being that mom. And it was a really good episode. It's encouraging for all my moms out there, single moms, married moms, stay-at-home moms, go-to-work moms. This is the episode that you really, really got to listen to. Because, listen, I was not trying to let that mom guilt set in. We still had a really good time enjoying the city, taking him out to eat, playing board games, doing things around the house, okay? And he loved it. Every day he woke up like, hey, can we play a game? Can we play Monopoly? Can we play Life? And so it was fun, y'all. It was fun. No complaints. So those of y'all out there who may have struggled with mom guilt, go listen to that mom era episode and kill your mom guilt today, not tomorrow, today. And that mom guilt today. But listen, y'all, I'm super excited about this episode because y'all already know it's just been a lot going on in society with this new administration. And so we're going to switch up the gears a little bit. I know I have been focusing on moms. We've been talking about Black History Month. We've been having a different Black History Month Go Girl on every episode. But this episode right here, I want to give the Go Girl to every hard-working woman, okay? Every hard-working woman, okay? Especially my women of color out there. I want to tell y'all, go girl, okay? Because it's just been a lot going on, and y'all can already tell where we're going with this episode. We're going to be talking about the alleged $5,000 stimulus check that's supposed to be coming our way. But I want to ask you guys a question. By the end of this episode, I want to see who's going to really want that stimulus check by the time we get done talking about it. I want to see where y'all minds are at, because the reason why I'm giving our Go Girl to every hardworking woman of color out there is because of what's been going on in the nation and society. We're going to kind of get into DOGE a little bit. We're going to talk about Donald Trump and Elon Musk and what they've been doing with cutting back a lot of the government jobs and how it really affects women of color today. Like, it's truly affecting us, y'all. And these are some hardworking women that didn't do nothing to nobody. They didn't do nothing to nobody, okay? But y'all decided to cut their jobs, and it's really affecting us. Okay, and so for one, I just really want to shout them out. Every hardworking woman of color who was affected by the government jobs cutting back, to just cut back on the CDC, the FAA, what else? The IRS. There's so many different sectors the government has made cutbacks on, and it has been thousands of jobs affected, you guys. And a lot of them are our women of color, okay? And so I really want to just shout them out. So can y'all drop a go girl right now in the comments so that we can shout out every single woman of color who has been affected by Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Doge cutting back on and cutting their jobs and cutting their positions and saying that we don't need y'all. And I just want to say, like, how dare you say we don't need y'all? Like, they have given their lives, they have showed up, they have worked, they have went to bat. You don't know what it's like to have to work in the government industry as a woman of color. A lot of them are underpaid, which we'll talk about later on, yet they still showed up, okay? And for you to say, well, we want to save money, so we're just going to cut your position. We're not going to reallocate funds to create a new position for you. We're not going to reallocate funds to still keep you working, but, that position is just not edifying anymore. Do that. Say that. But to say, oh, we don't need you anymore, we need to save money, so the priority is saving money, so we are cutting your jobs. No. And don't get me wrong, I know it's not just women of color who are affected, but when we go over the stats, y'all are going to see how much it really does affect us, okay? So this is worth having a conversation about, all right? And, so I just really, truly want to shout them out. I want to give them the go girl because they went to work. They did the jobs that no one else was doing. They showed up even though they were underpaid. They showed up even in the midst of transitions and things not being easy for them, people not always giving them a yes, right? We're going to really go into it, y'all. We're going to get into detail in the Pat Your Weave segment. So I want to jump to that segment really quick. Let's get into it. All right. So the title of this episode is "It is a $5,000 stimulus check coming our way, and why you may not even want it." Okay. And so let's get into the fact that for some of y'all may not even know what DOGE is. And so I want to break that down really quick. And I want to talk about DOGE. Really quick, let me give y'all the acronym, what it stands for. DOGE stands for Department of Government Efficiency, okay, which is an organization that is being led by Elon Musk under the Trump administration, okay? So under Trump's administration, Elon Musk has implemented several cutting cost measures aimed at reducing federal expenditures. These actions have significantly impacted the working class, particularly women of color, okay? And so I want to talk about the DOGE dividend, which is the $5,000 stimulus check that they are planning to give us. And we're going to get into that. So basically, they cut people's jobs, and now they're saying that we're going to do something called the DOGE dividend, and we're going to give all American taxpayers a $5,000 stimulus check. This is coming from statesman.com. This is where I got this information from. If y'all want to go check it out yourselves, y'all know basically what happened in COVID, like when everybody got different stimulus checks. They're basically trying to do that again. However, this money is coming from somewhere. And so I really want y'all to understand where this money is coming from, why they're able to do or try to do this new stimulus check that's coming our way. All right, this initiative involves allocating 20% of the savings identified by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. That's the DOGE organization that we were talking about. So they're trying to give 20% of the money the cutbacks that they made. Okay, I want y'all to understand. Because the cutbacks that they made, the jobs that they cut back on, all of the people who are now jobless, they are now saving money in those areas. So now they're taking that 20% of those savings, and they're saying, because of the jobs that we cut, because of the positions that we cut, because of the people that we let go of, now we are going to take 20% out of that, the money that we saved, and we're going to give it back to the public, which is going to be $5,000 per person. Allegedly. We're not sure. We're not really sure if they're going to do this. This is just something that's in the talks right now. And I really feel like it could be a publicity stunt. It could be, something to just get people talking, because they know people are coming for them. People are, not happy about all of these jobs being cut. People are not happy about what's going on. And, we're going to kind of get into that a little bit more in the faith-filled segment. But for now, just to stay on topic, people aren't happy. I'm not happy, okay? Because at the end of the day, like I said, it does affect mainly the working class. This does not affect wealthy people. The cutbacks, the jobs that they cut back on, those were not wealthy people that they cut back on. So this is my thing. Why not? Y'all always know how we talk about this. And I don't know about y'all, but I know in my circle groups, my friend groups, we talk about this like the 1%ers, the billionaires, the millionaires, the people that are in that 1% tax bracket of America, the wealthy people who are trying not to be taxed on a higher percent level. Those people who are trying not to be taxed on a higher percent level, why not tax the wealthy more and then give back a stimulus check based off of that? Because those people already have it. They already live in life. They already got what they need. They're well taken care of. They're well provided for. Yet you want to take jobs away from the working class, and then you want to give us back the money. Take the money from the working class and give it back to the public, which is the working class. Like, that does not make sense. Make it make sense. How do that make sense? You robbing Peter to pay Paul? Like, you robbing the poor to pay the poor? Like, let's think back to Robin Hood, okay? What did Robin Hood do? He robbed the rich to pay the poor, right? Robin Hood took money from the rich to pay the poor. It doesn't make sense to take money from people who are already the working class. And I'm saying the poor because at the end of the day, if you're not a 1%er and you still got to work to make an income, no matter what you do, even if you're a business owner, if you still got to go to work to get income, that means you are not wealthy. That means that you just don't have money laying around. You don't have to go to work every day. You don't have to do nothing, and you still going to be rich, okay? Donald Trump, he doesn't have to do anything else. He's still going to be rich. He's still going to have money, okay? He has generational wealth, okay? When you think about somebody who is a working class individual and you're taking money out of their household, out of their pockets, out of, their livelihood, and now you want to turn around and take that same money out and give it back to those same people, what? Why would we even want that? Why would we even want that, y'all? And so, I just want to make it clear. I just want y'all to understand what they are doing when they're telling you guys that they're giving us a $5,000 stimulus check, okay? Allegedly, because we don't even know if this is really coming, but this is what they're putting out there. This is what they're saying so that we will be happy about these cutbacks that DOGE is doing and things that they're doing. So basically, I want you guys to understand that on January 20th, 2025, DOGE aims to modernize federal technology and enhance governmental efficiency. Okay, this is what Elon Musk wants to do, and he was also appointed to lead that act by Donald Trump. Okay, so please go out and do your own research about DOGE, about what they are actually doing, about the Department of Government Efficiency, which is being led by Elon Musk, which is being under the Trump administration. Go out and understand what is happening, okay? So the other thing is that there have been massive workforce reductions. And I want you guys to understand that because I just tapped on it a little bit, but I'm going to break it down a little bit more so you can understand if you haven't been following the news, if you don't know what's going on, so you can understand what's really going on here, okay? All right, so DOGE has executed substantial layoffs across various federal agencies, notably the Internal Revenue Service, which I already said, the IRS, experiencing a reduction of 6,000 jobs, which has raised concerns about agencies' capacity to effectively collect taxes and manage revenue. But let's just be honest. And that was according to timesunion.com. So go to timesunion.com and read the full article, y'all. But I want y'all to understand who benefits from the IRS not being able to fully do their job? The wealthy. Why? Because they're always looking for tax cuts. They're always looking for tax breaks. They're always looking for ways to get out of paying the taxes, right? And so if you come for the IRS, the wealthy people are going to be happy. And so Trump is really just trying to keep his wealthy friends, his wealthy people that he been knowing before he was president of the United States. He just trying to keep them happy, okay? He ain't worried about nobody else but these people. All right. In addition to the IRS cuts, DOGE has mandated all federal employees provide detailed accounts of their weekly activities. This is micromanaging to the fullest. So not only are they cutting people, they are actually micromanaging them. So they want to see your weekly activities, okay? Failure to comply results in automatic resignation, a policy that has already led to 3% decrease in the 2 million strong federal workforce, equating to approximately 69,000 jobs lost. This is all since Donald Trump has come into office, over 69,000 jobs lost. And so y'all, I don't know about y'all, but the goal is to create new jobs. Why would you cut people's jobs without creating new jobs, without creating new opportunities, without creating something that they can transition into? Because they don't care. They don't care about that. All they care about is the rich staying rich. And this is a main initiative to help the rich stay rich. Okay, so let's talk about agency closures and restructuring. Several government agencies have been closed or restructured under DOGE's directives. These abrupt changes have led to organizational confusion and have disrupted the delivery of essential public services. That's from APnews.com. All right, you guys. And so the impact on the working class, especially women of color, this is where I really, really want you guys to tune in. Turn up the volume, turn up the volume, turn up the volume. All right. Overrepresentation in the public sector is a thing, and we have been overrepresented in the public sector for years. That means these jobs, these public sector jobs, they are mostly being done by women of color, okay? Because we're not the ones that are in the C-suite. We're not the ones that are in, these certain positions that are calling the shots. So a lot of the jobs that we are able to get are in these public sector jobs, these public sector roles. And so let's look at that. Women of color, particularly African American women, are disproportionately represented in federal employment. In fiscal year 2020, African American women constituted 11.7% of the federal workforce, significantly higher than their 6.6% representation in the civilian labor force. Okay. And so y'all have to understand and go to eeoc.gov for those stats if y'all want to find out more. Y'all have to understand that if we are the ones that are actually really, these are the places where we are over represented. Right. And now y'all are cutting in those areas. It's going to highly affect us as a society. It's going to highly affect us when it comes to providing for our families, right? All right, so the extensive layoffs and agency closures initiated by DOGE has disproportionately affected women of color. Given their significant presence in the federal workforce, these measures have led to higher unemployment rates and financially instability within this demographic. So the main demographic being affected here are women of color, moms, wives, sisters. We are being affected, y'all. And so we cannot lay down and just take it. We gotta fight. We gotta make noise about this. We gotta allow people to understand, this is really what's going on. Listen, y'all, I wish I could be silent. I wish I could just shut up. I wish I wouldn't have to say anything, but I gotta say something, right? Because who is gonna fight the battles? Who's gonna be out there advocating for us? Who is gonna say anything for us? No one else is. We gotta speak up for ourselves, and we gotta say, even though I may still have my job, guess what? My sister don't. Right? My sister in DC that worked for the IRS, now she don't have a job. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot more people out there who do not have a job due to this administration, okay? Even prior to DOGE's interventions, guess what? Women of color faced systemic challenges in federal employment, including lower wages and limited promotional opportunities. Listen, we was already at the bottom of the barrel. We was already being limited we weren't the ones being promoted, okay? We weren't the ones having the higher wages, okay? We were the ones that were on the bottom of the totem pole at the end of the day, okay? And so on average, African American women in federal positions, listen to this, earned $67,816 annually. That's the average of what African American women earned, okay? That's less than their Hispanic male counterparts, which an average Hispanic male working in federal positions made $76,802 average, okay? And overall, federal employees average, guess how much that was? $82,669, okay? And if y'all want more, go to shrm.org to just look over those stats so y'all can know I ain't out here just lying to y'all, Googling stuff. No, these are the facts. These are the stats. This is real world that we was already at the bottom of the totem pole. And so for y'all to come in and cut jobs like that, that's not right. And we won't be silent about it. We're going to say something about it because it's women of color who are overall, that demographic is the main demographic being affected by these job cutbacks, by these layoffs, by these restructuring of organizations. Do you think everybody in America, all the races in America are being affected by this? No, because if the white males were the ones really being laid off, if they were the ones that were in that position, It would have already been all over the news. People would have already been talking about it. It would have been already been a thing. But because it's us, it ain't getting as much noise. Yeah, some people are talking about it, but it's not trending yet. And so we got to make this trend, y'all. We got to say, we got to make this trend. So any ideas on how to make this trend, I want y'all to comment right now about this thing, because we got to talk about this, okay? Now, while Doge, because I'm not all just going to be like, just talking about things, in summary, while Doge's cost-cutting measures aim to reduce government spending, they have led to significant job losses, okay? And exacerbated existing inequalities. Okay, that's what they have done, particularly affecting women of color who rely on federal employment for economic stability. All right. So at the end of the day, yes, they have cut costs in the government. They have saved the United States, some money, but it has come at a cost. And who is paying the cost now is women of color. Who is paying the cost now is it was somewhat equal. Now the inequal is going back to this exacerbated existing inequality. So at the end of the day, nothing is free. Y'all think y'all saving money, but nothing is free. That $5,000 stimulus check that everybody about to get, it's coming from somewhere. It's coming out of your sis pocket. All right. So y'all, we got to do something about this. We got to do something about this because they really just trying to buy us. They're trying to buy our silence. They're trying to buy us to be okay with these things that aren't really okay. They're trying to buy our cooperation. All right. But who won't stand for that? We cannot keep standing for this, y'all. We got to make noise. All right. And so I want you guys to understand they're claiming that they have saved over $55 million. Okay. That's what they're saying. But independent analysts confirmed it's been two. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. They are claiming that they have saved the U.S. over $55 billion. But public analysts, they confirm that it's only been about $2 billion. Okay, so let's just leave that there. All right. And so I want you guys to know that this stuff is coming at a cost. Like, we cannot continue to be complacent with these things. And I want to move into the faith-filled segment really quick, because I want to ask you guys this. Are you ready for Jesus to come back? Because it's giving end times. It's giving lining up with end times. It's giving that it's lining up with, we're suffering so much as a nation. And you have on one hand, people trying to make things better or say they're making things better, but you have on another hand, it's being by bloodshed, right? And, people's bloods, people's, I wouldn't even go as far to say blood, but it is bloodshed metaphorically. Okay, it's bloodshed metaphorically, because at the end of the day, you taking food out of babies' mouths. You taking food out of mom's tables. You're taking food right out of their refrigerator. And so at the end of the day, you're saying you're trying to make things better, but you're not. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And at the end of the day, this is lining up. A lot of the things that are happening right now is lining up with different societal shifts, lining up with things that is biblical around Jesus coming back. All right. And so I want you guys to really, really, really take a second to look at the world today. We have false prophets that are just being exposed left and right. We have um, the government agencies, greed just taking over the government official. Why are you so bent on saving the government money? Okay. At the end of the day, we cannot take money with us. So greed is causing you to take food out of baby's mouth. Greed is causing you to take food off of mom's tables. Greed is causing you to cut these jobs. This is lining up with the end times. We got natural disasters. We got moral decline where people don't even look at morale anymore. They just go off of how they feel, what they want to do, how they want to do it. We had the war in Israel. We have Israel becoming a nation again. Y'all, it's time for everybody to wake up. It's time for everybody to wake up. And I want you guys to ask yourself, where does your spiritual readiness lie? Are you ready to go if Christ comes back? Because one thing that I talked about with my husband earlier is I was reading Philippians. And I believe I was reading Philippians 1. And Paul was talking about how sometimes he just be like, man, it's going to be better if I leave this earth. Not on no suicidal type stuff, but on some, I know that this is not my home. Like, and it would be better for me to just be with Christ. Like I would be, that's when I really truly get to live. And this is the scripture where he says, to live is Christ and to die is gain. And so, I was asking my husband, well, what does that mean to you? And, we started talking about it a little bit and he asked me, what does it mean to me? And to me, it means that we're so bent on living life here on earth. We want to live life. We want to live life to the fullest. We want to YOLO. You only live once. We want to go on vacations and do it up and spend money and be rich and do all these things and be successful and all this stuff. But to live is Christ. So to live is to live for Christ. You ain't really living if you're not living for Christ. So we so busy trying to Elon Musk and Donald Trump save the government money when at the end of the day, that don't matter. To live is to live for Christ. Why are we penny pinching the government? Why are we penny pinching the government? Like I said, you cannot take that with you. We so caught up on living in this world that we're forgetting that to die is where you gain. So it doesn't matter how much money you gain by cutting people's jobs. It doesn't matter how much money you gain by treating people wrong. It doesn't matter how much you gain by doing evil things. None of that is real gain. You're not gaining nothing. You're not really doing nothing. All that work that you're doing is you're doing it in vain, right? Even Ecclesiastes talks about that, right? Listen, we're doing so much in vain that at the end of the day, we think we really doing nothing, but we ain't really doing nothing. To live is Christ. The only way you doing something is when you living for Christ. So I want to ask y'all again, because it's lining up so much with the end times, are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? Do you know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Because that's where your faith is really gonna meet you at. That's where you can look at these things and you can know, like, even though I may have lost my job, I used to work for the IRS, I may have lost my job, but at the end of the day, you can take my job, but you're not gonna take my faith. You're not gonna take my faith. You're not gonna take who I really am, because God provided that for me before, and He will continue to provide for my family. He will continue to provide for all of my needs. He would continue to meet my needs. He would continue to show up because He's a right on time God. Amen. And so I want to ask you guys this. Do you know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Because if you don't, it's time for you to do that, because that's the only way that you can be okay through this. I am called to make noise about this. I am called to talk about this. I am called to really, really, really show up for people who can't advocate for themselves, that don't really know how to advocate for themselves. I know this is a part of the calling of Pod For Yah Girl, okay? But the only way I could do that is by standing on the word of God. And that's why we have these faith-filled segments, okay? And so I want you guys to really be encouraged by this. I want you guys to really understand what DOGE is. I want you guys to understand what they are doing. I want you guys to understand that is bigger. It's bigger. It's bigger. Listen, there's so much going on in the world today. And I wish I could tell you that they cut the jobs to save you money, but that's a lie. They did not cut jobs to save you money. They cut jobs it's a selfish thing being going on right now. They're not cutting jobs to save you money. They're cutting jobs because they know that this is how the rich is going to stay rich. And so I wish I was wrong, y'all. I wish I was wrong, y'all, but this is what my gut is telling me based off of the statistics, based off of the facts, based off of the things that we just talked about, based off of us understanding that the main people suffering in these jobs cutting is women of color. I wish I could tell y'all different. They're not cutting jobs. They're not doing these things to make make America great again. They're making their America great again, not a unified America. And so that type of division lines up with the end times, y'all. And so, yeah, y'all, it's just time to get ready. It's time to just, lean on Christ like never before. It's time to put your faith in something bigger than the government. All right. And so I'm not mad, y'all, because I know God got us. I know, we just got to keep praying. We got to keep lifting up our sisters, the ones affected by these things. We got to keep praying for them. We got to keep lifting them up. We got to keep encouraging them. But we also got to ask God to give us strength and wisdom on how to fight this battle, how to make noise about this, how to talk about this, how to not just be encouraged by the word of God and through prayer, but to actually go out and sound the alarm, right? Go out and lead other people to the faith and go out and lead other people in the right direction, okay? And so I want you guys to really be empowered. I want you guys to be encouraged by this podcast on today. And if anything, I hope you guys really understand what DOGE is, the Department of Government Efficiency, which is something that they literally just made up, where it's like they're deciding what's efficient for America. They're deciding, right? But at the end of the day, God is the one that decides what's efficient for America. God is the one that decides what's efficient for America, not us, right? And so the Department of Government Efficiency, I get it. I know what y'all are trying to do, but you guys are trying to control so much that at the end of the day, y'all really don't have the real power. God is the one that has the real power. And so even in your controlling measures, I know the God that I serve. And so you're not in control of me. I may live in the US, but God is the one that's in control of my finances and my fortune and my family. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. We do not serve the government and the power. I really feel like it's just man trying to get as close as to God when it comes to power as they can, right? Y'all know the story of the Tower of Babel, right? Where they were really close to building a tower that was going to lead all the way to heaven. And God saw that. And so he had to confuse them. He had to confuse them because if not, they were so gun-ho on building this tower that was going to lead to heaven. That's what they wanted to do. That was the Tower of Babel. And God said, oh man, they're so unified that they might do it. They might really do it. You know what I mean? So I got to confuse this, right? And so it's like we're trying to build this government that is going to give us all the things that we think life is supposed to be in America, right? But at the end of the day, I'm waiting on God to just come in and say, swoosh, and just like confuse everybody and confuse everything, because at the end of the day, what the Department of DOGE ain't got nothing on God. The Department of Government Efficiency, no. Like God is what decides what is efficient for his people. And so that is my prayer, y'all, that God decides, God, you bring the efficiency. You bring the efficiency. You bring the efficiency. You do it, God. You do it for our households. You do it for our family. You do it for our finances. You do it. Okay. So those of y'all who want to lean on the government, keep leaning. Keep leaning. But I lean on God. Okay. And so I hope that encourages y'all to lean on God in this season of your life. Just a recap of the episode. Our Go Girl is every hard-working woman out there. I don't care if you just lost your job. I don't care if you just, went through something where they had to restructure your whole organization, or your whole department had to be restructured. Listen, you are still a hard-working woman, and I see you, sis. And I say, go girl, keep on going, keep on grinding. You got this. Do not let the government steal your joy. Lean on God for your joy. You got this, okay? Just recapping as well, the Pat Your Weave segment is a $5,000 stimulus check coming our way. And while you might not want it, okay, listen, if that $5,000 stimulus check come your way, I ain't saying send it back. But what I am saying is that understand where this money comes from. Understand that it was bought with the blood of our sisters. It was bought with the blood of them losing their jobs. It was bought with the craziness of what's going on in the Trump administration. Take the money, but do not be silent. Do not allow them to buy your voice, because you have a voice to speak out against these things and say, we don't want money that is coming from the working class. No, find another way to help the country out. Find another way that's not going to keep the rich rich, okay? That is what we are saying with the Pat Your Weave segment. We are breaking the stereotype that women of color do not know what's going on. No, we know what's going on. We know what's going on. We see what's going on, and we are going to stand up and say something, and we are going to be a force to be reckoned with, okay? And for the faith-filled segment, it's too much giving that Jesus is coming back. So get right with Christ or get left behind. Y'all seen that movie Left Behind. You do not want to be that, okay? All right, you guys. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to Pod For Your Girl. Go check out all the sources that I put in this episode. Go read the articles for yourself so that you can see what is really going on in society, and share this video with somebody so that y'all could be woke, so that we could be woke. We could continue to be woke, because they try to say women of color sleeping. Now we ain't sleep. We woke over here, okay? Okay, period. All right, so share this video with somebody so that your next sis can be as woke as you are, and y'all can have conversations about this, because there's nothing like being in a conversation where you don't know what somebody's talking about, and you like, and you got to keep asking questions. Nah, that ain't you, sis. You gonna be woke, and you gonna know what's going on. All right? All right. So I love you guys. Until the next episode. Peace. Pop for your girl.
That's right. It's a podcast.
It's pop for your girl.
We got to go out.
Pop for your girl.